Hey guys, it's Layla and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be meeting my bearded dragon. This is Elvis. He is my 7-year-old male rescue bearded dragon. He's pretty angry right now if you can't tell, so if he gets too mad I may just put him back and do a voiceover over some clips of him. He is currently in shed a bit, so he's extra angry. I got him when he was 6 years old in the beginning of 2020, before COVID stuff started, so I don't really know. I have to look back and I'll pop up right here the day that I got him. But yeah, he was living in a 20-gallon long for 6 years with no tube UVB and reptile carpet and all the fun stuff that a lot of people keep him in. His old owners told me his favorite foods were ham and cilantro, so he won't be having any ham in my care. But now he does really seem to love his salads, especially berries. He's kind of picky about greens and stuff, but he really loves if I top it with berries, and he loves superworms and dubia roaches and all the fun stuff. He has a 4-foot by 2-foot by 2-foot enclosure. So for reference in gallons, that's 120 gallons. So he went from a 20-gallon to a 120-gallon for about like a year and a half. He was in a 40-gallon, but I finally got his upgrade and I will show that in a minute. I think I have a video either coming out or has already come out about his tank and setting it up and everything, and I'm hoping to film a review video on it as well because it's a bit of a newer company to building enclosures. So I'll show you that in a minute. It is fully bioactive with a cleanup crew and live plants, and he seems to really enjoy it. It's really boosted his activity level. He goes all over the enclosure and just really seems to enjoy the space. Yeah, some fun facts about little man. He is pretty stunted. He's pretty small for a bearded dragon. That's what stunted means, and I think this is due to the fact that he wasn't getting calcium that I know of, and he didn't have a UVB light, so even if he was getting calcium, there was no way for him to absorb that UVB into his body. He also is missing a couple of toes. This is probably due to him being kept on reptile carpet before I got him. Reptile carpet, if you don't know, is like this green carpet that is used substrate for reptiles a lot of times. And it a lot of times can get stuck on the reptile's nails because it has, the way it's sewn together, it snags really easily. And so a lot of animals, if you keep them on there, will get their nails stuck and ripped off. It could also be to stuck shed on his nails that he lost those. I don't really know. There was 6 years before I got him and 2 owners, so I don't really know what the situation was with those. He has a bit of a curved tail at the end, a kinked tail, and is missing part of his tail. His tail isn't as long as normal bearded dragons are, and I think this is, again, the curved tail part at least, due to metabolic bone disease, which is caused by a calcium deficiency, which is due to not having calcium or a light to absorb that calcium, a UVB light. So yeah, that's some of his little quirks. He also, right now, I did a super cute like animal painting with him with animal safe glue, not glue, paint, sorry, with animal safe paint, where I allowed him to like walk over the paint and then walk over a canvas. I will try to find one later and show y'all because they are super adorable, but not thinking, I knew it could stain their scales for a little while, and like being not smart, I did it right after he had like a full-blown, full-body shed. And if you don't know, bearded dragons only shed about 2 times a year, so I have to wait quite a while for him to get all that paint off. So he's kind of comfortable right now, so I don't really want to move him. But a lot of people have told me like, oh, he has stuck shed, because on the camera it comes off looking almost like his circulation is being cut off, but it's only because he has like blue and pink paint on his feet, and I assure you there's nothing wrong with his toes. There's no stuck shed on them or anything. he is quite a healthy boy now. So yeah, that's Elvis. He's really cute. I let him free range on the floor sometimes and he seems to really enjoy that time. And I'll take him outside in the summer and let him bask on his little harness with me. And he's just really a joy to have. I love owning him. I really think I will own a bearded dragon for like forever. I don't think I could go without a bearded dragon in my reptile family. So I think I will always have a bearded dragon with me. So this is the little man. He's sassy. When I first got him, he was very, very, very sassy and like wouldn't let you touch him. He'd puff up all the time. I can pop a picture up here of how angry he always was when I first got him. And now he's just a pretty happy boy. He's still grumpy sometimes, but I'm going to go ahead and show you his enclosure and where he's living and tell you a little bit about his diet and what I feed him. We have his enclosure. Like I said, it's a 4 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot enclosure. There's a 40-gallon under it, so that gives you a bit of an idea on how big it is. He is sitting right here at the front. Hey, buddy. As you can see, he's shedding on his head a bit. So what we have in his enclosure is this is his basking spot. He has 2 100-watt heat lamps because one was not heating it quite enough. This is stacked 3 bricks on top of each other. This one's laying on flat on the bottom so he can't squish himself if he buries himself. And then these 2 stacked on top so he can come up here and bask. This retains heat quite well. This gets a basking spot of around 100 degrees. And it also retains some warmth down here if he wants to hide under here. But his favorite hide is honestly going behind this little hammock. I took 2 of these these hamster bendy bridges and made a bit of a ramp. He can get up there by himself, but he actually quite enjoys just laying on these. Then we have his dirty water dish that I need to change. If you have a bearded dragon, you know they love making their water dish a disaster. They poop in it, they throw their substrate in it. His substrate is a mix of topsoil, eco-earth, play sands, leaf litter, and some cork. Under the cork, you will find our little cleanup crew. There's a couple I'll show you under the bigger cork. They're not really right there today. Under the bigger cork, you can see down there, maybe, I don't know if it's focusing, there's someone here. These are called buffalo beetles or lesser darkling beetles. So if you're familiar with reptiles, you probably know what mealworms are. So mealworms are the larva stage of darkling beetle, and so these are practically mini mealworms since they are lesser darkling beetles. If we look under here, the camera isn't really picking up on it, but there's like thousands of little movements from the babies. We also have multiple plants. We have some snake plants. I'm not really sure what type they are. Then we have this aloe, a couple of other, I'm not really sure if they're aloes or, I know this one is a zebra, I don't remember what it's called. I'm going to pop it up on the screen. Then we have these 2 little, I believe they're called trailing aloes, and they look fake, but they're real, and they do amazing. This one was like dead when I bought it. And then we have this hide over here that he burrows under sometimes, and he spent the first couple days in there because when I first put him in here, he was like just waking up from brumation. The first time since I've had him, he decided to brumate this year, and he actually went in his 40-gallon where he was living, and he burrowed under his cool hide and brumated for close to a month. He would come out sometimes and just go right back, so it wasn't like a deep brumation, but he did brumate for a while. He has some raspberry on his mouth right now. And speaking of raspberry, that's a great segue into what I feed this little man. So I feed Elvis every other day, sometimes every 3 days, just to give him some variation in his diet and not have a super strict schedule, just to where he it's kind of enriching to not have an exact schedule, not feed them the same time every day. So I feed him sometimes every day, sometimes every other day, and sometimes every 3 days. but it's typically every other day, and he gets a salad, which is normally turnip or mustard greens. He hates collard greens, so we never do that. I try to give him some and he just does not like them. So he has some turnip and mustard greens, and sometimes he'll have some other things like cilantro on top. And he also normally gets some color of the bell pepper, whether this be red, yellow, or green. He really enjoys the bell pepper. I do a lot of yellow squash because he really enjoys that as well, so I just cut it into little cubes. He gets carrot. Sometimes we do things like raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, strawberries, just as a little topper to make him more interested in his salad because he really, really loves his berries. And obviously I do switch out some other things and I kind of change all of these to make it more enriching for him. But that's like the basic diet that he has. Typically when I do it, I'll do the collard and mustard greens, a type of bell pepper, yellow squash, and carrot, and then add other stuff if we have it or if it's in season. He also, bug-wise, he'll get superworms. I breed superworms and mealworms, so those are kind of a staple that I have here a lot. I do mealworms a lot less because they are not as good for them, so I normally do superworms. And then recently I've been getting a lot more dubia roaches, which he really seems to enjoy those. It took him a little while to notice them as food because he went from 6 years of eating ham to eating mostly worms. And so like he didn't really recognize them as food right away, but he now seems to enjoy them quite a bit. And I do occasionally get crickets as well. He's also had calcium worms or like black soldier larvae. And I'm trying to think what else. I want to get him hornworms, but I don't have enough animals that eat solely bugs to get that many hornworms because I normally only sell them in like 12 counts. And I know you're not supposed to feed them a ton. And since I have a bearded dragon, leopard gecko, with 2 crested geckos that eat insects, I feel like that is not enough since my crested geckos are super small at the moment to buy a 12 count. So we haven't tried those yet, but I do hope to give him some in the future because I've heard that bearded dragons just really enjoy those. So how he got his name is his name was Elwood when I got him, but I really like naming my animals after singers because my dog is Otis. And at the moment, Otis was the only animal I had when I got Elvis. And so I was like, to go along with the singer theme, why not name him Elvis? It was pretty close to his old name, not that bearded dragons care. But I just thought it was really cute, and so that's how he got his name. So now we've gone over his name, his backstory, his enclosure, and his diet. I think that is all I need to cover in this video. I did get this video idea from Jessica's Animal Friends. That's what her channel is called. I'll link it down below. She's been doing these videos a lot of even if she's already had the pet, just like meeting that specific pet. And I really like that idea because there's a couple animals that I didn't give a proper introduction to here on my YouTube channel. So I just decided to go ahead and do that, and I am going to actually film one of these for each of my animals so that y'all can meet all of my animals in their own videos about themselves. Thank y'all so much for watching this video and getting to meet this little handsome dude. I hope y'all have an amazing day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye.